Good morning, and welcome to First Parish Brewster. We are a Unitarian Universalist welcoming congregation of people of diverse philosophies and beliefs, people of various cultures and races, sexual orientations, gender identities, abilities, and socioeconomic backgrounds. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your path, may this be a place of rest and restoration on your journey. I am Lindsay Strauss, happy to be leading worship today with Margaret Rice Moyer, our guest musicians Tom and Stacy Ferris, and Pam McLean and her granddaughter Kaylee Cullen. And I have to say just a little word about Kaylee. At the risk of embarrassing her, I've watched her grow up in this church and develop as a singer back from the days when we had a pickup band called OMG, and she sang with that. And she has developed into a beautiful young woman who is now going to be attending Berklee College of Music in the fall. And I normally, as I've told a couple of people before the service, I normally take the opportunity when I am in the pulpit to showcase my limited musical abilities, but I'm going to defer to Pam and Kaylee and Tom and Stacy today, so you're in for a treat. Our services are recorded and available midweek on our YouTube channel. Please silence your cell phones. In an effort to be more welcoming, we ask that all wear their name tags and fill out a sticker name tag. We also welcome the noises, merriments, and mirth that little ones bring to our services. Our services are 60 to 75 minutes long, so if you need to leave before the end of the service, I invite you to leave at the rear of the sanctuary on both sides of these two aisles. For those of you who may be first-time visitors, this morning a special welcome. Are there any first-time visitors? And if you feel comfortable, you can stand. We'd love to have you stand up and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about where you're coming from.
Hi, I'm Sandra. I live in Brewster, and that's about what I got.
Well, thank you for coming. And welcome. If you'd like to learn more about FPBUU, I guess we probably don't have too many people that fit into that category. You'll fill out a welcome card, which you'll find on the back of the pew in front of you, and place it in the offertory basket when we get to that point in the service. A big welcome to people watching who are streaming. We're glad you are here. Hopefully you've all had a chance to read this week's angle, so there's nothing in addition to that I'd like to highlight. And next Sunday, Rick Kuntz, an incredible addition to our roster of lay worship leaders, will be leading a service in which he will explore ways that all of us as individuals and as a faith community can cause, to borrow a phrase from John Lewis, good trouble. And directly after this service, please join us for coffee and conversation in the parish room. Welcome on this morning, which we may sacred by our presence. It is so good to be together.
I think I must have been 25. They let me sneak in through the side, and I sat in the dark on a pin drop night like a school kid memorizing. Heard the skies of Texas sing songs you made with wooden strings. You sure knew how to make them ring, cigarette ashes flying. And it goes on and on and on and on until it's almost gone. The maps unfold until we're old, all the places we come from. On and on and on and on, but some things take their time to age enough to shine like paint and turpentine. choose where our story goes? Does some spirit already know the things you try to never show? Kid, they see right through you. Lightning cracks and glimmers flick, as magic as a magic trick. When truths arrive, better grab 'em quick, write 'em down before they lose you. And it goes on and on and on and on until it's nearly gone. Life intrudes and the things we lose end up in a song. On and on and on and on, some gifts will take their time and age enough to shine, like poems, friends, and wine. I had the strangest dream last night, standing on the porch and the moon so bright. Memory cut like a Randall knife, felt like it went right through me. Sure, we go on and on and on and on until we're finally gone. Museum dust settles on a trust, $30 to look around. On and on and on and on, this memory took its time to age enough to shine, like paint and turpentine, and songs, guitars, and wine. God, this one is mine.
When I was growing up, my family always came to the Cape the week of Labor Day. In those days, my school didn't start until Wednesday of Labor Day week, after the unofficial end of summer, and my parents figured I could miss the first couple of days of school. Not much happened during those first couple of days anyway. So we could come to the Cape after the crowds went away, and yes, in those days, the Cape shut down pretty much after Labor Day. The crowds went away, and yet the weather was warm and sunny, and usually the water was still warm, and the weather for sleeping at night was great, and it cooled down. It was just wonderful. For many years, we rented a cottage in Chatham in a cottage community called Horns Cottages, apartments and cottages, in the Little Beach area of Chatham, down below the Chatham Light. And I can still recall vividly the last time we rented a cottage in September, Labor Day week of 1964, the summer I turned 13. I'd just come home from 8 weeks of camp in the Adirondacks, climbing, canoeing, and sailing at an all-boys camp with the wonderful name of Camp Poco Moonshine. And fresh off being voted both best hiker and, unfortunately, biggest eater. My grandparents on my mother's side, who had the wonderful, now old-fashioned names of Mildred and Wesley, were visiting from St. Charles, Missouri, or as they say out there, Missouri. As a result, while I was still at that point and not yet become a Red Sox fan, I was a diehard Yankee fan. But because I'm sorry. At least I switched loyalties in time. Yeah. I can still remember the first game I went to Fenway in the spring of 1970. It was, and I'm doing a little extemporaneous riff on this. Sonny Siebert versus Vida Blue. They were both undefeated. That was Vida Blue's rookie season, and it was an incredible game with a whole bunch of home runs, including two home runs from Rico Petrocelli, and a home run from Reggie Jackson. So I followed the Cards as my National League team, naturally, because of my connection to Missouri. And as it turned out, I didn't know it at the time, that week in September, the Cardinals and the Yankees met in the Fall Classic in October, which was the subject of one of my favorite baseball books by David Halberstam called October 1964. And that final September trip to Cape Cod, our family was joined by some close friends from Connecticut, Don and Evelyn Camp. The cottage we had a large living room and a sort of a galley kitchen on one side of it, and 4 small bedrooms and 1 shared bath. And what I didn't know was, I don't know what it was, sorry. I don't know what it was about Cape Cod cottages in those days, but they all seemed to be very dimly lit. I can still remember trying to read a book by the orange glow of a standing lamp that they must have put a 40-watt bulb in. It was just, I don't know what they were trying to do, save money or something. I remember my father renting a Boston Whaler, and we went out to Monomoy, and we spent the day, on an idyllic day on the beach, outer beach. And I remember making good use. There was a big putting green surrounding this big flagpole and yard arm, and I had already been playing golf by that point for a couple of years. And I remember playing Scrabble, which our family did a lot, and of devouring the New York Times and the New York Herald Tribune, which was still published in those days, and of going to dinner one night at Chillingsworth. Yes, that Chillingsworth, which I have not been to since. And listening on a small Motorola transistor radio to a Clear Channel WABC AM 77 in New York. And at that time, some of the hits which you may remember were House of the Rising Sun, Pretty Woman, and Hard Day's Night. And what New Yorker of a certain age doesn't remember Cousin Brucey and Dan Ingram? But why do I remember that time and place so vividly? What do my memories say about me and what I value? As Reverend Karin taught us, I think looking for answers to these questions is why we come to church. So let us enter into worship and explore together what it means to be a people of memory in music, poetry, and prose. But before we sing our first hymn, won't you please rise as you are able and greet your neighbor.
Beloveds, we are so excited to see one another, and we will rise again, not in a religious way, but to sing hymn 1051. We are in the blue, the teal hymnal.
Each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayer.
Thank you. If you look at the credits for the hymn we just sang, you will see that it's by Dr. Isaiah Barnwell, an African-American singer and composer, and for more than 30 years, a member of the a cappella ensemble, Sweet Honey in the Rock. Who doesn't know and love them? According to Dr. Barnwell, the phrase, "For each child that's born, a morning star rises," is meant to establish hope and defines the uniqueness of each one of us. No matter what our race, culture, or ethnicity, each one of us has been called into being and are the sum total of all who came before. In the composer's words, each and every one of us stands atop a lineage that has had at its core mothers and fathers and teachers and dreamers and shamans and healers and builders and warriors and thinkers and. So, in spite of our uniqueness, we come from and share every experience and memory that humankind has ever had. In this way, we are one. We light this morning's chalice in honor of the role memory plays in defining who we are, in honor of our ancestors, in honor of the heritage of our faith, and in honor of the vast empty space left behind when memory disappears. For who are we without our memories? Will you join? I think you don't have to stand. Will you join in repeating the unison affirmation? We believe in love. Love is the doctrine of this church. We believe in truth. The quest for truth is its sacrament. We believe in helping others. And service is our prayer. We believe in the sacredness of life. To the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thank you. And we come to the time where we sing our beautiful children out, and I think we should just mention that they are the stars in the sky that we honor and love, and we welcome them so much into our faith community. Will we sing them out?
Children, may you go now in peace. Children, may you go now in joy. Love surrounds you on your way.
Each week we have the practice of splitting our offertory plate. Half of what is collected goes to the work of First Parish Brewster, and the other half goes to a worthy organization nominated by members of this congregation. This morning offering is a split plate with Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network, or GLSEN, Massachusetts chapter, a grassroots initiative working locally in our community to ensure and safe schools for all students regardless of sexual orientation and gender identity. Our chapter supports students and educators locally, organizers around LGBTQ affirming public policy, plans teacher trainings, and hosts events for students, educators, parents, and allies. This organization was nominated by the Welcoming Congregation LGBTQ Committee. Your offering will benefit this organization as well as FPBUU make checks out to FBBU with split plate on the memo line. Please write a separate check for pledge payments, and you can text to give 508-257-7181. This morning's offering will now be gratefully and mindfully received.
On the topic of memory, I've had the chance to be able to sing this song throughout my life, and it's about growing up, and each verse, the child in the song grows up, and I have had, the pleasure of feeling like I'm singing through this song, and I just wanted to thank you, Lindsay, for giving me the opportunity to sing this song again, and this song is very, very special to me.
Yesterday a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar. Fearful when the sky was full of thunder, and tearful at the falling of a star. And the seasons, they go round and round, the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. Then the child moved 10 times round the seasons, skated over 10 clear frozen streams. Words like "when you're older" must appease him, and promises of someday make his dreams. And the seasons, they go round and round, the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. 16 springs and 16 summers gone now. Cartwheels turn to car wheels through the town, and they tell him, take your time, it won't be long now, till you drag your feet to slow the circles down. And the seasons, they go round and round, the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. So the years spin by, and now the boy is 20. Though his dreams have lost some grandeur coming true, There'll be new dreams, maybe better dreams, and plenty before the last revolving year is through. And the seasons, they go round and round. The painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. And go round and round and round in the circle game.
Of all the many aspects of living a full life with Alzheimer's disease, the one thing that stands out is the uncertainty. It asks us to make peace with fear and worry. It says, be just where you are now and make that your world and make it be enough. And so it goes, one moment to the next, no past, no future. I have become the receptacle of his memories, an awesome responsibility, because I hold the key to his having lived and having lived well. Living with someone with cognitive decline is like being pregnant. Pregnancy had me eating for two. Caregiving had me living for two. It's fatiguing, to be sure, though joy is frequently present. These years, our song is a different one. He sings harmony while I sing melody. It's a kind of call and response. He calls, I respond. Sometimes it's like singing to God, a song of patience and forgiveness. Learning to love so fully that all the artificial constraints of time and space simply fall away. What is left is the absolute core, the breath, and the awakening to the holy now. All in all, it's not a bad way to live. Drifting, drifting, until it's time for that one last permanent goodbye. This poem, written during those years, feeling a bit blue. I feel like a tattered right sneaker with the left shoe missing, a threadbare mitten with an unraveling mate, a pair of glasses with a bad prescription, a favorite earring that won't thread through the pierce. What am I to do? I feel like a couple divided by two, a thirst that won't be quenched, a hunger unsatisfied, a marriage that is not. What am I to do? I feel like I want to swallow you whole, bring you inside me where my heart is waiting to fill its empty space, where I know you will be safe, where you will float in the placenta that keeps memories alive. Sometimes I'm watching him lost in this cloying fog, observing him working so hard to remain present. But present where? Listening to his muddled determination to be tethered to a safe mooring, seeing the fear of being endlessly lost. I want it to end. What is the meaning of life without your memories that tell you who you are, who you've been? And I write, he's afraid, my husband of 45 years. And why not? He walks in a strange land, strange and unfamiliar. Even I cannot save him. What is this life, I wonder, hoping for an end worthy of the fullness that preceded now? In the moments he lashes out, it is fear, I know. I see the panic in his unguarded glance. I smell his terror. I am quick to forgive him, not simply because I love him, but because I see how hard he works at making this life a life. And really, it's not. We both know this. These people, those who live in the netherworlds like his, all of them desperate to be known, don't ask for much, just a moment of my time, of our time. I process what is happening. I'm feeling too much. Deep, overwhelming sensations tell me I'm alive, fully alive, but it hurts so darn much. He's a child without the excitement and curiosity and the promise of more. This is not a life. It's a half-life. A shadow life. It's unfair to have to live that way. The man I've loved my entire adult life is no longer. He was my mentor, my lover, my father, my best friend, my comrade. I feel like I'm writing a Dear John letter. I'm saying goodbye to the life we had. It's over. Nor can it be recreated. We are no longer a couple. We are a woman and a shell, with memories holding one of us up and forgetfulness holding the other one down. And this final poem. There is a shadow room in my heart I try to enter. My footsteps travel here and there like greased lightning, like a shot in the dark with nothing to bank on. But the calling of home and the shriek of the night owl and the asters that bloom again in the fall and the light in your eye when you see me. I have paid attention all my life, and the memories that are stored in that dusty old place are safe, are piled high and secure where they remain. The day will come when I can throw open the door and the sunlight will reveal the beautiful recollections like gems waiting to be mined.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, to me, come to me.
I have 3 readings this morning. The first is from Reverend Tess Baumberger, who is the senior minister of the UU Church in Essex, Massachusetts, which, as it happens, is less than a half a mile away from where my son, daughter-in-law, and granddaughter, Emmy, live, and where I pass by every time I come to visit them in Essex. God is a journal of time marching through eternity. She is waking of seasons, phases of moons, movements of stars. She is grandmother, mother, daughter. She is transcending spiral of ages, whose every turn encompasses the rest. History, a mere babe balanced on her hip. She is spinning of universes, an ancestress of infinites. She is memory. She is presence. She is dream. And we are a brief instance, intersections, nanoseconds, flashing gold-hoped moments in the eons of her. The second is by Joy Harjo, a performer and writer of the Muscogee Nation and the 23rd Poet Laureate of the United States. Remember the sky that you were born under. Know each other. Know each of the stars' stories. Remember the moon. Know who she is. Remember the sun's birth at dawn, that is the strongest point of time. Remember sundown and the giving away tonight. Remember your birth, how your mother struggled to give you form and breath. You are evidence of her life and her mother's and hers. Remember your father. He is your life also. Remember the earth whose skin you are. Red earth, black earth, yellow earth, white earth, brown earth. We are earth. Remember the plants, trees, animal life, who all have their tribes, their families, their histories too. Talk to them. Listen to them. They are alive poems. Remember the wind. Remember her voice. She knows the origin of this universe. Remember, you are all people, and all people are you. Remember, you are this universe, and this universe is you. Remember, all is in motion, is growing, is you. Remember, language comes from this. Remember, the dance language is that life is. Remember. And the third is a short excerpt from the poem Evidence by Mary Oliver. And what service at First Parish Brewster would not be complete without a Mary Oliver poem. This is a long poem, so I'm reading just one section of it that I thought was appropriate for this morning. There are many ways to perish or to flourish. How old pain, for example, can stall us at the threshold of function. Memory, a golden bowl, or a basement without light. For which reason the nightmare comes with its painful story and says, you need to know this. Some memories I would give anything to forget. Others I would not give up upon the point of death. They are the bright hawks of my life. So what does it mean to be a people of memory? It's a huge topic, and that I've wanted to talk about from this pulpit for quite some time. Because, perhaps, I have been blessed with a pretty good memory, one which provides me, at least, a virtually endless source of joy in my life. As Lisa Geneva, a Cape Cod resident, neuroscientist, and author of Ask Alice, notes in her 2021 book, Remember, the Science of Memory and the Art of Forgetting, memory is without question an astounding superpower, essential for the functioning of almost everything we do. But it can also, she says, be a flaky friend who never shows up for your coffee date, or that wide-eyed preschooler at Disney World willing to believe anything. Memory, she says, especially for what happened last year or what you intend to do later today, is notoriously incomplete, inaccurate, confabulated, and fallible. Its performance often better if externalized, outsourced to Google or your calendar. Our long-term memory has been described in one study as an archival library where data is filled for retrieval undimmed, ordinarily at least, by the passage of time. If our lives are a library, its books are written on the paper of our memories, or housed, as the late historian Tony Judt put it, in a memory chalet. We love to remember. That's why we surround ourselves with memories. Not boring or unimportant stuff, but things that have meaning, that reflect who we are. That is why the walls of my home and bureaus and end tables and credenzas are full of photographs of me, even as Terry, as I was once called, of my family, especially my granddaughter, of my parents and grandparents, of reunions, both family and school. To borrow from the title of an old Rod Stewart album, every picture, every painting, every objet d'art, every wooden decoy, every empty bottle of old Bordeaux in my home tells a story. in telling these stories to friends, which I admit I love to do, or to myself, just sitting in my living room recalling where and when they were purchased and by whom, are activities that constantly nourish and replenish my soul. What science is discovering is that we don't lay down memories like computer records, bits of factual data on a disk. Rather, our brains weave our memories into a narrative, one that we are constantly creating and revising to make sense of our world and create and maintain a sense of identity and self. That we construct memories in this way helps explain why the loss of memory from conditions like Alzheimer's, which robs a person's ability to make sense of their world, isolates them, and destroys their sense of self, is so devastating and heartbreaking, as we learned from Margaret this morning, and as we have all experienced with other members of this congregation over the years. Memory acts as a spiritual tool for reflecting on past experiences and extracting insight through a process of remembering. The past is not a place that traps us, someone once said. Echoing the line from Spirit of Life, the past is more like soil that clings close to our roots to nourish and stabilize us. If memory had a voice, she said, it would sing, "Remember me." It wouldn't sing, "Remember me." It would call out, "Don't forget who you are." As the Reverend Scott Taylor tells us, memory invites us to maintain our grip on the past, but also calls us to pay attention to the present. Memory's question is not just, do you remember, but how do you want to be remembered? Memory helps connect to our essential values and provides spiritual reminders to help us stay true to ourselves and our ideals, to acknowledge our ancestors, both blood and in our faith tradition. For we are, as our opening hymn reminds us, our grandmother's prayers, our grandfather's dreamings, the breath of our ancestors, and the Spirit of God. While it is easy to think of ourselves as the sum of our memories, the end product of all that we've experienced, argues the authors of a 1998 study, the statement should really be reversed, they said. Memories are the end product of all you have ever thought or done, filtered through your perceptions and opinions. In other words, who you are is shaped by your memories, and your memories are shaped by who you are. So what do my memories of that Labor Day in Chatham long ago say about me, about who I am as a person? I think that the reason that memory is so vivid, and I recall it every Labor Day week, especially over the last 22 years that I've lived on Cape Cod, is because it highlights the many things that I value most highly and that largely define who I am more than 6 decades later. Family, friends, food, music, sports, and nature. It should come as no surprise that many people describe memories of family vacations from their childhood memories as more vivid and more important than other childhood experiences like school events or birthdays. Parents also recognize the value of creating these memories, with studies finding that a large percentage believing vacations provide experiences that their children will cherish for years to come. And I know this to be true, as my 3 sons will often tell me that their most cherished memories of childhood were our family vacations on Martha's Vineyard when they were growing up. As for food, or in the words of the song from Oliver, food, glorious food, I was then and still am now a foodie. It's no wonder that my memory bank is simply chock full of food memories. Both my parents were gourmet cooks, and I was lucky enough to have grown up eating in some of the best restaurants in New York, Connecticut, and Florida. If there was anything in my life that then as now as important as family, friends, and food, it was music. I'm willing to bet that for most, if not all of you, hearing a favorite song from your past transports you back to a time and place when you remember hearing it. Hearing Kaylee and Pam sing The Circle Game this morning brought me back to the summer of 1970, when I remember listening to it on my car radio in the parking lot behind the Fine Arts 1 and 2 cinemas in Westport, Connecticut, with my girlfriend before going in to watch the documentary Woodstock. It's no wonder that I also remember the fall of 1964 in terms of sports, marked as it was by the Philadelphia Phillies blowing a 6.5 game lead with 12 games remaining, and the end of 16 years of dominance by the Yankees, during which they went to the World Series 16 times and won 10 titles. Finally, it is not at all surprising that I remember that Chatham vacation, given my love then as now of nature, especially memories of being on or near the ocean or on a lake in New England or the Adirondacks. In fact, one of my most spiritual moments in my life came on the summit ridge at Mount Katahdin in Maine I remember the exact date, August 24th, 2013, with one of my best friends, Carrie Johnson, who some of you know from this congregation, who was at that time the senior minister, UU minister at the UU Church in Augusta, Maine. It was a remarkably clear and, luckily for us, bug-free day. As we sat looking down on Chimney Pond and beyond, we spontaneously broke into singing Spirit of Life. It was a magical, mystical moment, perhaps matched only by one other in my life, when lying in a sleeping bag on the shores of Lake Colden in the high peaks of the Adirondacks one August, I looked up into the totally black sky with no light pollution whatsoever and was treated to a display of shooting stars like I've never seen before during a Perseid meteor shower. It was just remarkable. There are, of course, some memories, as Mary Oliver says, that I would give anything to forget. But there are so many others, and I'm sure for you as well, that you would not give up and that I would not give up to the point of death, because they are the bright hawks of our lives. Blessed be, and may it be so. So now join with me in a spirit of prayer and meditation, followed by some shared silence. Please get comfortable in your seat and take a deep breath with me. Go back to a time and a place in your life when you felt at one with the universe. Perhaps you were standing on the top of a mountain in the Adirondacks, or the Rockies, or in Baxter State Park in Maine. A light breeze blowing gently on your face. The coo of a morning dove, the only sound you hear. Staring to the horizon 50 or even 100 miles away. Or you were lying on a beach or by a mountain lake on a crystal clear moonless night, staring up at the vastness of the Milky Way, or watching shooting stars streak across the inky sky during a Perseid meteor shower. Remember the power, indeed the holiness of such moments, and the power, the sense of awe, of mystery they can evoke in you, even now, many years, even many decades later. Some of you here today struggle with memory loss. Some of you love and have loved people with dementia. Reflect on how, no matter how difficult those moments are, that love is always present, and find comfort and healing in the memories you shared with them. Spirit of life, who longs for us to hear your voice and waits in silence for us to recognize your presence, meet us in this quiet moment. Silence our loud, tumultuous thoughts and grant our brain rest. Help us to let go of our distractions and our desire to be distracted, to simply sit here with you. We can all use a moment of peace to count our breath, to quiet the noise, to let our spirits be still. When all we have left is a moment of silence, help us to trust that it is enough, and you'll take care of the rest. Now rise as you are able to sing our closing song, In My Life. The words are on the back of the order of service. And note that there's going to be a small instrumental break, as noted on the lyrics, after which we will remain standing for the benediction. Now take the hand of your neighbor for the benediction. Remember the gift of speaking and telling stories. Allow yourself to receive stories. Tell the stories you know to your family and friends. Make up new stories about what justice looks like. Pay attention. Make today, make tomorrow, make every day an occasion to remember to remember. Set time aside to remember loved ones. Find comfort and healing in shared memory. Consider how you want to be remembered and aim to leave a legacy of love, justice, and helping make the world a better place than you found it. Time it was, and what a time it was, a time of innocence, a time of confidences. Long ago it must be, I have a photograph. Preserve your memories, they're all that's left you. Blessed be.
Thank you.